Well, I've done a little experiment this morning to see how this foam cuts for the seat. My first one, I used the electric carving knife with the finer tooth blade on, and that cuts really smoothly. Obviously it's a slow process. If you press too hard, then the foam will distort and you won't get a nice clean cut. And then I've used like a multi-purpose knife. You can use it for bread or almost anything. It's meant to be one of these really sharp cut anything knives, and that cut fairly well as well, but not as good as the electric knife, if you can see from the profile there. And then finally your normal bread knife, and with that's pretty rough and it wasn't as easy to control. So I think the thing with it, I've started on the corner, is to not rush it, do a little bit at a time and try and keep the blade vertical so that the sides are the right shape. So I'll have a little go. Unfortunately I won't be able to film it, but I'll do little updates. This thick corner piece, I've decided to use the knife just to get the bulk of it out of the way and stop the electric carving knife overheating. So I'm just going to take the main corner off with this. It goes through fairly easily, but it's not as tidy as the electric knife, so I'll do the finer detail with the electric knife and take the bulk off with this. Well, that was fairly quick, but it's not as straight as you can do it with the electric knife. You can see it sort of sloping in there. I have left enough at the edge there, so that shouldn't be a problem. So I'll continue slowly with the electric knife. Shaping up quite well. I think the thing is to just take your time with it. You can always take a little bit more off, but trying to add some on if you've cut it in the wrong place will be difficult. I've worked out that I can probably get 3 out of this piece of sponge, so even if I need a 2 layer, I have got a little bit of leeway if I make a big mistake. A little bit on the base itself. Some bases the foam just actually goes to this edge, but on this one it's got to lap over the edges of it. It's got a little trim there, and then it's got the little fixing spikes for the cover, but the foam itself needs to go over the edge. So I'm going to have to actually cut through the base of it to mould it and try and shape it so that a little bit will go over the edge, unless I can think of another way of tackling it. So I'm just letting the knife cool down a bit. As I say, I don't want to burn the motor out on it, because then it'll just mean more work with the bread knife. I'm just tackling the other side of the seat and decided to use the bread knife, holding it in 2 hands and trying to keep it vertical. It's doing quite well, so I'm just going to continue with that to get the piece separated, and then I can work on moulding it. Yeah, pretty pleased with that. You can see the saw marks, but I've kept away from the main edge. And once we get somewhere near the shape, I can shape it maybe with a sander. I'll have a look into Steve's tools, see what we've got. But if I can get it to basic shape today, I think I'll be happy with that. As I say, the thing is not to rush it. Take your time, and if you're feeling that things are going to start going wrong, stop. Well, that's the basic shape cut out for the seat. There's obviously a lot of work still to do, but I'm quite happy with it at the minute. A lot more shaping to do,